Hello, good day, beautiful people. I am the Inspirational Lady Noble 365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you will love this vibe. And everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This can be past, present, or future. You or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else, okay? Remember that tarot is a tool. It is not the final rule. And it is a good idea to have an empty cup when you are on Lady Noble's channel and you want to see what's up, okay? Be sure to tell a family, friend, or foe, or you know, to come on over and subscribe so they can be privy to these spiritual notifications. There is enough space in this place for everyone to be notified. Thank you all for stopping by and saying hi. All right. Thank you for your support, your kindness. May you accept these messages for your highest good. There's no other intentions of this channel or the delivery of these messages, but for you to find the spark within yourself in your own timing and pivot in your own direction that is best for you in your highest good. Okay? Thank you. All right. Okay. The first card that we have here is Storm. Okay. So this could be a literal storm, or this could be metaphorically speaking. This could be the weather, as in a storm, or this could be just a metaphor for how you are feeling emotionally. Maybe you're dealing with something that you feel is like a storm to you. Maybe you're dealing with something that you feel is overbearing, something that could be challenging you, putting you in a space or place of imbalance, okay? So you could be feeling like things are just one after another or consistent, as these drops continue to fall. You could feel like something is happening in your life that is consistent or persistent. And you could be in reflection mode, collective, wondering when will this end, okay? And so with the rebel here and the insect on her chest here, this is not a storm, though it may appear to be a storm and you may feel that it is something that is persistent because you may be dealing with more than one thing at one time. And so you're feeling overwhelmed. Spirit is confirming with the insect on her blouse here and the word rebel here that you've been here and you've done this before, okay? Tina Marie, I've been here before. So you've done this before. You've been here. You've surpassed many cycles in your life. You've overcame a lot. You've experienced a lot. You carry the energy of a rebel, someone who is willing to push the envelope, push past boundaries, go beyond the worries of someone being concerned with being judged or stereotyped. You don't mind doing what needs to be done in order to conquer your goal. And so this rebel card is confirming that whatever you are dealing with, that you are fully capable and able to survive and thrive and land on your feet. You may have some kind of fire energy in your chart, okay? Let's tap into the tarot here. Okay. Okay. Hope you all are feeling great. Okay. Yeah, you feel like there's a lot on your plate at this time. You feel like things are happening one after another. So it's creating an impact. But this is the time Spirit is saying whenever you are feeling overwhelmed, the first thing one should do is pause. Pause and do nothing. And when I say pause and do nothing, this could be for a couple of seconds, a couple of moments. This could be for a couple of days, a couple of hours, okay? But to pause. Don't be so swift. Move at a pace, not with haste. Don't be so anxious. Don't assume the worst all the time. Not to say to be oblivious and ignore the truth. It is what it is. But for you to don't assume the worst all the time, okay? Don't assume the worst. And so the impact of the back-to-back situations you are assuming the worst because it's not one thing at a time. But Spirit is also saying that all the things that are in front of you that you feel are your responsibility or you are giving your energy and focus to may not be your responsibility. Okay, so you may be misappropriating your own energy, your own time, and your own resources by overextending yourself, involving yourself in a situation that really has nothing to do with you. So we understand that we have family, friends, people we care about, and you may want to help. You may want to be of assistance, but there are times when you have to move out of the way and allow people to grow and flourish on their own. Okay. There's nothing better than to allow a person to become their own rebel. As I spoke at the beginning, you've been here before, you've done this time and time again. And this is confirmation of that. But there's nothing better than to move yourself out of the way so that they can become their own rebel in their own timing, in their own way. But if we're always providing a crutch, if we're always providing a resource, money, whatever it is, a ear to listen to their mess all the time, or you can come this way, I got you, baby. If you're always providing the idea of them wanting to be constantly lenient instead of working on being independent and learning how to be resourceful as an adult and practice doing some adulting, it will really, it won't be helpful to this person. This person will have to repeat constantly until they learn the lesson that just because there are people to help you doesn't mean that just because you feel there are people who can help you doesn't mean they have to. And sometimes we have to wing it by ourselves in order to grow, in order to flourish. Okay. And so I'm picking up that you may be in one or two places in your life. This could be one situation or two situations. You're involving yourself where really you should be pulling back. This could be with your children. Okay. This could be with your spouse. Okay. Different things. Maybe there's something going on with your spouse and the in laws. Okay. You don't have to put your verbal 2 cents in. Let them deal with their family while you deal with yourself. Okay. That's just one example. Okay. That's just an example. So only take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. Okay. This could be a child that you have that is an adult now, and you want to teach them independency. You want them to do more for themselves. Yet you're complaining, but you are allowing them to be lenient. You are enabling them. You are hindering them from their growth because they're always turning to you because they are accustomed to you being there. Because you are the go-to person, whether your mom, dad, an auntie, an aunt, an uncle. I said an uncle, or an uncle. Okay, all right, a little southern twang there, but either way, yeah. So be mindful. Okay, there's something you're dealing with in either one or two places. They're saying that you really need to pull back from, and it will lighten the load, and it will also instantly create a shift and an impact for yourself where you won't feel so burdened. You won't feel like it's a storm and the situation is dark. You won't feel burdened. You won't feel depleted. Maybe you work long hours and you are spending time through the day dreading what needs to be done, what has to be done. And so we can only do what we can, no matter who we are. It doesn't have anything to do with our upbringing or what's in our bank account, or what kind of moisturizer we use, or yeah. But yeah, so take that into accountability. Only you know your story. Okay, if there's something that you really need to pull away from, Spirit is saying do that. But it could be different for everyone. Okay, all right. And so, with the Three of Wands, you are desiring, to be in the energy of resting and rejuvenating, but also being in the energy of waiting for growth to show itself, growth to show proof that you could be someone who works long hours, or maybe you have two jobs, or a job in a hustle, or you could be a stay-at-home parent who's just busy, busy. You're constantly running errands, taking care of this, taking care of that. And you are desiring to be in that energy where you can relax and you can rejuvenate. But remember, you've done this before, and here is strength. You are strong. You will overcome. And that's why you are being referred to as the rebel, metaphorically speaking, proclaiming all that you have endured and overcame. And just like you are the rebel, you have to pull back from certain situations and allow people to grow and learn on their own, okay? Allow them to exercise their strength. They won't get there if they have somewhere one always there to hold their hand or to feed their supply. This could also be energy. This could be you allowing people to dump their energy off on you. Maybe you are that friend who people call with all their problems. Maybe you are that coworker that as soon as you swipe in and your coworker sees you, doesn't matter what kind of job you have, uh, they want to dump all their problems off on you. There's nothing wrong with conversation, but you could have an associate or a friend whom every time you see them, there's something new going on, and you're like, what is it today? And you're hoping that maybe they'll tell you a joke, maybe something new and fabulous happening in their life, but no, they're complaining. All you hear is complaining. So and so didn't come home last night. I think my spouse is cheating. They're just always nagging. This could be someone verbally talking to you when they see you or calling you. Every time you answer your phone, someone's got an issue. This could also be generating and pulling in a momentum of making you feel like you're going through a storm, of pulling you in as if pulling you in and placing you up under this dark cloud right here. Okay. And what's happening is energetically, these drops are, they're being magnetized towards your aura, towards your spirit. As long as you allow uh, this friend or this associate or people in general to treat you like you're a waste dump site and come to you with all their problems. They don't want to crack a joke, they don't want to laugh. It's never how you doing today. How you doing today, how you feel today, or just asking you how was your day. They have is complaints. It is very impactful. And whether you believe in energy, doesn't matter what your belief system is, all are welcome on this channel. It's impactful. It will impact you. Sooner or later, you'll find yourself with a headache and you don't know where it comes from. You'll find yourself just being irritated and you don't know where it comes from. So you don't have to fight, with the seven here. You don't have to be in a constant battle with the seven of wands here. It's time for you to exercise having courage and stand your ground and not allow people to treat you like you do not have value or you are not important. There's someone in your life who's coming off like an energy vampire. Whether you are giving them your listening ear for them to complain in, whether they're calling asking for favors to babysit, can I get a ride? Do you got $20? It could be anything. Can you do this paper for me? Maybe there's someone who always wants you to help them with all their paperwork, and they know that you're busy. You have a life of your own. You have to learn to say no and pull away. So clearly, before I go to the next card, this reading is about boundaries. Setting them and enforcing them, and you enforce them by not wavering from the boundaries that you set. If you're not going to listen to negativity, don't listen to it. If you're not going to let people, this is for somebody, drop their kids off every day of the week and you babysit from sun up to sundown and they don't come pick them up on time and you're doing this free of charge. Okay. I'm not talking about anyone who's being paid. You're just being an open book to everyone, where everyone comes to you. It's time to say no. And we have to come out of being a care bear, because if you are a care bear and you're watching this and it could be difficult for you, just think of how you feel and that no one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. If you don't set boundaries and tell people no, they will run you ragged. They will run you to the thread ain't thread, and they will run you to a rug until a rug is a ugg. So there's nothing left for you to stand on. And so people know what they are doing, and I'm also picking up on someone who could be maybe asking or requesting your assistance or your help, and could be saying to themselves, oh, I know I shouldn't ask the collective, but you know what? Forget it. I'm going to ask them anyway. That kind of energy, Oh, I know the collective been babysitting all week, or and I ain't paid them yet. If you are getting paid, I'm picking up somebody is babysitting and not getting paid, and they're doing it for free because they want to, but somebody supposed to get paid and they don't. You know, oh, I know I didn't. I know I owed them for last week, but I'm about to ask anyway. I got the money, but I'm about to take this and go get my nails done. This is just an example. So be mindful of being afraid to stand your ground and stand up for yourself. And then in the meantime, between time, people are willing to make sure that you stay with this dark cloud up over you. They don't care that, you may be tired. Maybe you want some rest. Maybe you just want time to yourself. Whatever it is, they're not choosing to be a care bear when it comes to showing respect to the collective. They're choosing to constantly vamp your energy. They want to, like a nice smoothie, and you're at the end of the cup, a nice matcha or something. You're at the end of the cup. I got to get all this. This is good. They don't care. And so you have to not care as well and care about yourself and just simply say no. You don't have to be confrontational. You don't have to get your drawers up in the bunch. You can just simply let them know, no, thank you. There are boundaries here, and this is where it stops. Okay? You don't have to constantly explain yourself, because whenever you have a ping pong conversation with anyone, they will feel, the ping pong goes back and forth, right? The ball goes back and forth. They will feel like they can wiggle some room to convince you to do opposite of what you have stated. So never allow anyone to make you explain, you know, uh, or have that ping pong conversation, because it's just reverse psychology. It's just, if you allow it, they figure they can wiggle their way if you start explaining, or you allow yourself to go back and forth. You can let a person say what they want, but you can leave them talking to themselves. Say what you mean, say it once, let it go, and say nothing else, and get into the habit of that. And then sooner or later, these people around you, friends, family, associates, whatever you refer to them as, they will get it. They will say, you know what? The collective ain't buying it. I better not try them. Let me go pay them. I owe them. Let me pay them. Because they not buying it. You have to show people how to treat you and how to respect you. You have to show them. It's not so much about a conversation. It's really about saying it once and not wavering from it with your actions. Use your actions to not waver from it. Okay? And so the next card we have here is the Page of Cups. Okay? So they could want to, from time to time, try to, how can I say this? Pull on your heartstrings, pull on your heart chakra. Try to use sensitive conversations or topics to sway you. Um, yeah, so Spirit is saying also just be mindful of the wordplay and the manipulation, because there's an energy of someone strongly trying to manipulate their way when they're dealing with you. And they could be doing this verbally, be giving you a sad story of something that happened. Well, you know what? People go through ish every day, okay? People are going through things around the world every day. That doesn't mean that it's okay for them to take advantage of you and have you in a space or place where you're not feeling good, where you're not feeling like the leader that you are, you know, you're where you're not in top tier position, You don't owe an explanation, and you don't have to announce your arrival or your departure. And the more you enforce this, it will bring the momentum of more harmony in your life, in your family, in your relationships, and in different circumstances, without you even having to feel drained or feel like you have to do much to get something accomplished. Okay, put this card up here. So yes, be mindful of these things. It's time for you to practice the love of self, okay? There's two people here, but the love of self. And you could be in a relationship, and maybe you overextending yourself could be affecting your relationship with your spouse or with your partner, male or female. All are welcome on this channel, okay? Maybe this could be affecting your relationship personally, spending time, being available. Maybe you're having mood swings, from feeling like you're drained, or feeling like you just don't want to be bothered, from time to time. You just don't want to be bothered from trying to help everyone. No one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself, Spirit is saying. And you have to save yourself. And don't assume that you're going to get some kind of reward or gold star because you are allowing these people to take advantage of you. That's for someone who needs to hear that. Okay? So there's two cups here. This is representing that reciprocity is needed in your connections. And so give yourself nothing less than the best. This is a reminder from your spirit team. This message is being channeled to remind you that you are valuable and you are important. This isn't to insult you. This isn't to make you feel some type of way. But if you do, oh well, you just do. But I'm confirming to you, someone needs to know, this is about you receiving reciprocity. This is about not just a cup being turned one way, but both parties in any situation, whether it's romantically, whether it's a friendship, business partnership, this could be family, your children, that there's an equal give and take, that there's both parties applying themselves, to reach the higher good, or for the higher for the greater good or higher good. Either way, okay? So the Three of Cups is reminding you to make sure you're gathering with that like-minded energy constantly and consistently. And when you recognize that there's imbalance, there's no need to be confrontational. There's no need to create any kind of friction, okay? There's a need for you to simply remove yourself. State your claim, state what needs to be done. Hey, there's so and so, there's some imbalance going on here. I need you to give more, do your portion. Speak up, okay? Speak up, but say it once. Don't get into the habit of constantly over and over and over again repeating yourself. Because when you let someone know what you don't like or what's bothering you and they keep doing it, that's your answer. They're letting you know that they're flipping the bird at you. They don't care. They're flexing their middle finger on you. They're flexing. They're letting you know they don't care. And they can come to, oh, I forgot, my bad, my bad. Oh, don't be so sensitive. Oh, you tripping. It ain't even like that. Now you know. No. People, you have to show people how to treat you, through exercising, those boundaries, and just not wavering from them. And this could be done with much ease, without stress, without feeling overwhelmed. And they will get it. They will get it. It's just like in grade school. Okay, everyone can relate to this, what I'm about to say. And it's funny. In grade school, no matter what kind of school you go to, there's always a teacher. I don't care if it's one teacher. That is no nonsense. There's always a teacher who every student knows. If they say quiet, be quiet. If they give you homework, turn it in. When you're in their class, you know to respect them. Doesn't matter what your age is, where you graduated. Confirmation with the airplane. You know, there's always a teacher in every school. Doesn't matter what kind or whatever, who everybody respects. And this teacher, the teacher's energy, I know the ones that I have met and come across in my life, they don't look stressed because they have been enforcing their boundaries like, hey, you're here to learn, I'm here to teach, and we're going to do nothing less or more. In every school, there is a teacher that is no nonsense. Yes. Yes. I had one who used to file their nails and pop gum. and and everybody respected this person. Everybody respected this teacher. Everybody did their work. I don't care if you didn't like doing your work. I don't care if you never turned in a homework assignment. When you was in her class, you took care of business. Period. And while we did her work, she chewed her gum and filed her nails. And if you get out of line, but you knew better, okay? And the demeanor of this teacher's face was always very relaxed, like seriously, very calm. Yeah, no nonsense. And so you have to set these boundaries though. There's no need for anyone to live life or spend life feeling depleted or drained or taken advantage of. It's okay for you to step into your queendom, you know, as a king or queen that you are, okay? It's okay for you to sit on your throne. It's okay for you to be in leadership. It's okay for you to be comfortable, in that energy of waiting for your ships to come in. You don't always have to be moving and grooving. You're not here to get the approval of people outside of you. You're here for a greater purpose. We are all smaller than the tip of this Varjo here. We're smaller than the tip of this. We're just specks. We're small worlds within another world where we have our own simulation, that exists in a larger assimilation. So, you know, uh, while you're here, you don't want to perish from planet Earth with a shoulda, woulda, coulda theory. You don't want to, wishing you would have stood up for yourself, wishing you would have made time to take that class that you're interested in. I'm picking up on someone has something they're interested in learning or taking a class, but maybe you feel you don't have time or you have time. There's some rearranging you need to do. That's all. With the Four of Cups here, you have time. Hey, it's time for somebody to pour into you. It's time for them to pour into you. Everybody getting theirs. It's time to pour into you. It's time for you to make sure you get yours. Self preservation is key. That's what leads to self mastery. Okay. And so it's time for you to get excited with the Eight of Wands. Your spirit team wants you to be excited, wants you to be in bliss. Things are not perfect, but we can enhance our time while we're here on the planet Earth in the matrix. We can enhance, our experience. And so I'm picking up, the need to enhance your experience. You don't need to have this look right here. Like, when will it be over? I'm so tired. I could use another nap. When will it be over? When will it be over? When you choose to use the word no and just let people know that you're not the one or the two. Okay? You have to save yourself. 1 second. And you have to truly save yourself. You have to become very determined, like you are a student, like you're in class. I'm about to say a kicking. No, but you're in class learning how to be no nonsense. And it doesn't have to be aggressive, just not wavering from the agreement that you have with yourself and source of standing your ground so that you can change things around. Okay? So this lover's energy, I have to cover it up. But this lover's energy here on this card here, there's three people here. And the two in front represents you now, you in the future. The third person here represents source, okay? And, this is confirmation that you need to embrace a new idea of who you feel or know that you are, of who you know that you are, not feel, who you know that you are, and choose to shift your perception and do the work that is necessary. Some examples, not all, are some of the things that I am speaking about in this entire reading. Choose to embrace the new idea of existing and not allowing people to use you and walk over you, because picking up on someone who's asking you for help and really don't need it, or owing you money, haven't paid you, but still want to burden you and take up your time, take up your energy. Look how fast the time goes day by day, collective. And if you keep allowing this, the clock and the calendar keeps moving, whether you refer to time or not. Uh, some people do refer to time, some people don't. I only refer to it if I got something to do. Other than that, I really don't. But you don't want to spend so much energy or time. And you look up and, a lot of years has passed by and you have done nothing to make you happy. You have to do something to make you happy, not just something. You have to do some things to make you happy, to make you feel fulfilled. You're not put here to be everyone's beck and call. Maybe there's something in your upbringing that had you feeling or thinking that, but you're not going to be loved any less or not liked if you say no. You're not going to be punished for saying no. Maybe someone has tried to project that energy onto you and you were unaware of that, but that's far from the truth. You're not put here to be anyone's slave or doormat. You're just not, okay? And so this could be something, with the Six of Cups from the past, learned behavior, maybe the way someone treated you, or maybe something that was taught to you as a young child. Or this could be something that you observed. Maybe you observed someone else, in your family uh, doing this, letting and allowing everyone to come to them with all their problems. Someone need a place to stay. Everybody go to this one house. Somebody need to borrow money. Everybody call this one person. And it can be draining when one person is doing it all by themselves. If it's a family, hey, spread it out. Call some of the other members, spread it out, okay? And so this is not saying to turn your back on people. This is about setting limitations for you, setting boundaries and enforcing them so that you can enjoy the life that you are giving, so you won't find it difficult to maintain your balance, which will equal your peace. And everything that we deal with requires balance, maintaining it. Doesn't matter what it is. In order to live a healthy life, you have to do things, with limits and not push beyond them, because when you push beyond them, that's when you can find yourself in different situations, okay? Such as what we're watching in social media now. We're watching people who consider themselves to have the privilege to push beyond their boundaries. Therefore, they have no limitations. They feel because they are in a particular tax bracket that it's okay to push the envelope. Um, when in reality, eventually things will shift because we're always in the energy of evolution. And so if we're constantly in change and everything is energetic, it will be foolish to assume that you're able to, push the boundaries in areas that it shouldn't be pushed. And to feel or think that there'll never be a repercussion for that, that's straight foolishness. That doesn't make sense, and it's really causing folks to lose some dollars. We're seeing this in the media. We're seeing it. We're seeing it where people are learning with the Four of Swords that, hey, it's time to take a rest. And so Spirit wants you to take a rest so that you can be your best self, okay? You do not have to battle with the Five of Swords here. You do not have to worry. You do not have to battle with anyone, okay? You don't have to be in competition or conflict with yourself, feeling that you have to do this. You have to, no, 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 no. You can say no, and they will practice their ability of being resourceful as an adult, which equals being self-efficient. When one door closes, another one is open. Instead of that person coming to you to always do everything, they'll learn to find other options. And that is a skill. That is a skill for everyone, okay? And that'll be you assisting them, but also helping yourself and practicing that self preservation, okay? So go ahead and allow the calmness, the Six of Swords, calmness and peace to enter your life. No longer block it out. No longer disregard it. Okay, you can surrender. With the Ten of Wands, the burden, the exhaustion that you have been experiencing. It's time to surrender that and let it go. It's not yours. These are situations of other people's. Okay. You do not have to keep someone's children 7 days a week. You deserve an off day, okay? I didn't say you have to quit, but every day? Mm-mm. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. Maybe you want to take an adventure somewhere. Maybe there's somewhere you'd like to go nice. You got to have off time for that. If you want to go on that vacation, take that adventure, you got to have time off for that, okay? And people have to respect that. So that means they're going to have to find an alternate resource. They're going to have to find other options to fulfill their needs or their requests because you are not going to be the tipped over cup. Everybody's got something and you're tipped over here. You're not going to be that one depleted and everyone else is getting theirs, okay? And so there could be somewhere that you would like to go to collective. You would like to plan to go, but maybe you have been trying to figure out, well, I would like to take that trip, but I got to do so and so. I got to pick up so and so on Tuesday. I got to babysit on this day. Then I got to go run errands for so and so. Then these things keep popping up and it's stopping you from conquering things you want to do for yourself. Okay. And no, you're not the only one who can get it done. That's for somebody. Maybe you're feeling that you're the only one. Yes, you have persevered through many things in your life, but you're not the only one who can conquer. Okay. And it's not for you to be concerned about. I'm hearing somebody say, but I'm the only one responsible. No, no, no. Those things are not for you to worry about. Okay. So this concludes the read. I trust and hope it assists you for your highest good. Later.